Thanks for staying with us. You are watching WION World as well. I'm Adya Juneja and this is Speed News. Let's start with all the top stories making headlines today. US President Donald Trump has said that recovering enriched uranium from Iran will be a long and difficult process in the aftermath of last year's US strikes on Tehran's nuclear sites. Well, Trump added that extraction efforts would require significant time and coordination as the situation remains complex amid ongoing tensions and negotiations between the two countries. Report says Iranian flagged container ship Tusk, which was boarded and seized by US forces, is likely to have what Washington deems dual-use items that could be used by the military on board. According to US Defense Department data, at least 415 US troops have been wounded in the war with Iran. Well, last week the total stood at 399. The rise during the ceasefire is tied to delayed reporting of injuries, especially traumatic brain injuries in which symptoms can emerge or be recognized days later. US President Donald Trump has told the New York Post that he is willing to meet with Iranian leaders himself if breakthrough is reached. Well, this as he brushed off the regime's threats to boycott the latest round of peace talks. Trump has told the Post, and I'm quoting him here, "I have no problem meeting them." Well, Trump's statement comes as the US-Iran ceasefire is set to expire on Wednesday evening, Washington time. US President Donald Trump said his country will not lift its blockade until a deal has been reached with Iran. In a post on X, Trump said he is under no pressure to make a deal, dismissing reports suggesting otherwise. However, he added that an agreement would be reached relatively quickly and that the new deal would be better than the old one. Iran's chief negotiator and parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf has accused US of attempting to turn negotiations into a table of surrender. He said Iran will not hold talks under the shadow of threat, while warning that it is prepared to unveil new cards on the battlefield if the war resumes. Dozens of American veterans and military family members were detained after they started protesting the Iran war inside a congressional office building in Washington, D.C. More than 60 of the 150 protesters who were ordered to disperse by Capitol Police were arrested as the protest continued. One protester, whose partner is currently deployed, said the group is looking for Congress to stop the war that President Donald Trump began. The US will host the next round of talks between Israel and Lebanon as the two sides adhere to a US-brokered ceasefire. But the talks, which will be at the level of ambassadors, will take place at the State Department in Washington. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has said that the planned talks will aim to end hostilities with Israel and end the Israeli occupation of regions in southern Lebanon. However, Hezbollah has criticized the talks and urged the Lebanese government to withdraw from the talks. Earlier, Iran had put a ceasefire in Lebanon among its conditions for a truce with the United States. Iraq has opened a border crossing with Syria more than a decade after it was closed to trade following the rise of the Islamic State group. But Syria has touted the Al Rabia post known as Al Yarubia on the Syrian side as a safe overland route for oil exports and an alternative to the Strait of Hormuz, which is at the focus of the Iran war. Iraq relies heavily on oil revenues for roughly 90% of its budget, and most of its oil is exported through Hormuz. Syria's state-run Sana news agency said that Syrian and Iraqi officials at the crossing discussed how to improve coordination and ease transit and trade in line with the shared interests. The United Nations has warned of an alarming escalation of fighting in Ukraine amid an absence of significant diplomatic progress, as the risk of the conflict spinning beyond control looms large. The UN official said at least 15,578 Ukrainian civilians, including 784 children, have been killed since February 2022. Human rights group Amnesty International warned that the international system is near the breaking point. It blamed powerful states for double standards that it said are undermining the human rights system. In its annual report, Amnesty said governments worldwide were committing or enabling serious rights abuses, while multilateral institutions designed to protect civilians were being weakened by selective enforcement and political silence. One Canadian tourist has been killed and at least 4 other people have been shot at the Teotihuacan pyramids, that is near Mexico City. An armed man opened fire at one of Mexico's most famous tourist destinations. The shooting is the latest violent incident to affect Mexico as it prepares to co-host the Football World Cup in June. Eyewitness video obtained by Reuters shows a man walking atop one of the pyramids shortly before a deadly shooting at the popular archaeological site. President Claudia Sheinbaum said in a post on social media she was in contact with the Canadian embassy. The Canadian Foreign Ministry did not immediately reply to a request for comment. U.S. lawmakers held a moment of silence for 8 children killed in a Louisiana shooting that police say grew out of an apparent domestic dispute in Shreveport. Speaker Mike Johnson, whose hometown is Shreveport, called the killings of the children aged 3 to 11 a tragedy of senseless, unspeakable evil, as House members stood in silence. U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer resigned on Monday amid allegations of misconduct at the department, stepping down as the Labor Department's Inspector General neared the end of an investigation into claims involving her and her top aides. The White House said DeRemer's deputy, Keith Sonderling, will serve as acting secretary. House Speaker Mike Johnson administered the ceremonial swearing-in of newly elected Rep. Annalelia Mejia, who won a New Jersey special election for the U.S. House last Thursday. Mejia defeated Republican Joe Hathaway on a message of standing up to President Donald Trump and defending progressive policies. Mejia is the former head of the Working Families Alliance who had support from Vermont U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. Well, she will fill the seat previously held by Democratic Governor Mickey Sherrill and serve until January. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer continues to feel the heat from the fallout of the Epstein files. The political furor over the appointment of Peter Mandelson as UK envoy to Washington is refusing to die down. In the latest, Starmer has ordered a review to examine security concerns raised during Mandelson's tenure. Addressing the UK Parliament, Starmer admitted that his decision to appoint Mandelson was an error of judgment on his part. New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said that he had survived a vote on his leadership among his own party's lawmakers after recent slumps in the polls prompted speculation that he might be ousted. The vote during a routine meeting of Luxon's centre-right National Party lawmakers was held privately. Luxon emerged afterward, however, to tell reporters he had called for a confidence vote, which had been successful. Japan has eased its tsunami warnings following a powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake that struck off the coast. While the initial surge triggered widespread alarms and evacuations, the alerts were downgraded after only minor sea level changes that were observed. At least 6 people were reported injured, and authorities have confirmed there are no immediate reports of casualties or significant structural damage, and essential services are now beginning to resume as the region remains on alert for aftershocks. Japan has unveiled its biggest overhaul of defense export rules in decades. It has scrapped restrictions on overseas arms sale and opening the way for exports of warships, missiles and other weapons. Well, the move comes as Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi seeks to strengthen the domestic defense industry amid uncertainty over US security commitments and strained American weapon supplies. Over 400 people have fallen ill after suspected food poisoning at a wedding in Gujarat's Dahod district. Several of the affected have been hospitalized and health authorities have launched a probe to determine the cause. No fatalities have been reported so far, but the scale of the incident has put the local administration on high alert. Protests continue in Manipur's Keshamthong over the Throng Lafpi incident where 2 children were killed and their mother was seriously injured after suspected militants hurled a bomb at a residence on April 7th. Well, the attack, which took place in Moirang, has sparked outrage among residents, with demonstrators demanding justice, enhanced security and swift action against those responsible.
Manipur!
A liquor ban in West Bengal has been extended to 96 hours ahead of Phase 1 polling, with restrictions already in force in constituencies set to vote on April 23rd. Well, the move comes after the Election Commission cited an unusual spurt in liquor sales, prompting stricter enforcement to ensure a smooth and orderly election process. Tesla has settled a wrongful death lawsuit in Florida stemming from a 2018 high-speed crash that killed a teenager riding in one of the electrical vehicle's maker sedans. Well, court records show the driver's parents claimed that a Tesla technician removed speed limiter without their knowledge, which had previously restricted the car to 137 kilometers per hour. Well, Tesla has denied any wrongdoing and maintained that the driver's reckless operation caused the crash. Artificial intelligence company Clarify says it has deleted 3 million OkCupid user photos and facial recognition models trained on them, following a settlement between the US Federal Trade Commission and the dating site over privacy violations. OkCupid reached the settlement in late March over sharing photos and demographic data in 2014 to train Clarify's facial recognition models. The agreement has drawn criticism from some Democrats who said the settlement did not go far enough. The incident highlights how artificial intelligence is becoming a political flashpoint. Meta has started testing an optional premium subscription tier for WhatsApp called WhatsApp Plus. Well, the plan offers users custom app icons, exclusive ringtones and other personalization features. According to a report by WA Beta Info, the subscription is currently rolling out to a limited number of Android beta testers. Support for iOS is expected to follow at a later date. The move marks Meta's latest attempt to explore new revenue streams for WhatsApp. Asian markets opened higher as investors bet on possible progress in US-Iran peace talks, rising tensions. Strong gains were seen across South Korea, Japan and Australia, while Hong Kong futures also pointed upwards. Despite sharp warnings from Washington about potential military escalation, markets stayed resilient, focusing on diplomacy over conflict. Oil prices slipped, signaling reduced fears of supply disruption. Meanwhile, Wall Street closed slightly lower after a long rally, but futures edged up. Overall, sentiment remains cautiously optimistic, with investors watching geopolitical developments closely. Oil prices fell as markets expect US-Iran peace talks to move forward this week, raising hopes of improved supply. Brent crude dropped about 1%, while US crude declined over 1.7%, reversing sharp gains from the previous session. Prices had surged after Iran shut the Strait of Hormuz and tensions escalated with US actions. However, investors now focus on possible ceasefire extension or a broader deal. Uncertainty remains, with risks of prolonged disruption still in play if negotiations fail. Analysts warn oil could spike further if supply routes stay blocked. The US dollar stayed subdued as investors await progress in US-Iran ceasefire talks, boosting appetite for riskier currencies. Well, the yen remained under pressure, hovering near key levels as expectations grow that the Bank of Japan may delay interest rate hikes. Markets are in a wait-and-see mode, with uncertainty over whether negotiations will lead to a deal. The euro and pound edged lower, while the New Zealand dollar gained on firm inflation data, raising chances of further rate hikes. Focus now shifts to upcoming US retail sales data and central bank signals. "50 injured and 60 arrested in Paraguay over riots that took place during a football match. Some fans entered the stadium in the capital without tickets, which led to the chaos. Chelsea manager Liam Rossinier says he has the full backing of the club's owners. Rossinier is under pressure after the Blues have lost 4 games in a row without scoring a single goal. That has put Chelsea 7 points adrift of 5th-placed Liverpool in the Premier League, while Chelsea face Bridgton later today, and the team simply must win to stay in the hunt for Champions League qualification. Rossinier and the Chelsea team were booed on Saturday after losing to Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea thought they can still win a trophy this season, while the Blues face Leeds in the FA Cup semi-finals on Sunday. Former Afghanistan pacer Shapur Sadran, who is suffering from a rare and life-threatening disease, is currently fighting for his life at a hospital in New Delhi. The 38-year-old left-arm pacer is in the intensive care unit. HLH is a condition in which the immune system becomes severely overactive and damages the body. It mostly affects children but can also occur in adults, especially those with infections or a history of cancer. Shapur Sadran, who played over 80 matches for Afghanistan between 2009 and 2020, is suffering from an advanced form of the disease. He first felt unwell in October, after which he was advised to travel to India for treatment. Tom Cruise has officially announced that Top Gun and the 2022 blockbuster hit Top Gun Maverick are returning to theaters worldwide for a 1-week special engagement starting May 13, 2026. Well, the re-release perfectly coincides with the 40th anniversary of the original film. Indian filmmaker Atlee and his wife Priya have announced the arrival of their second child. The Jawan director shared that they have been blessed with a baby girl. Celebrities and fans congratulated the couple. On the work front, Atlee is shooting for his action drama Raka.